welcome to In the Neighborhood. I am here with.
Landon Tucker.
All right. I just thank you for stating your name and where are you from and what do you do?
I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I'm on staff with Campus Outreach. I'm the campus director here at Clemson University.
Awesome, awesome. Expound a little bit about that role and what that means.
Yeah, so the campus director essentially is I'm in charge of the campus staff at Clemson and really help them become successful in their role in doing personal ministry. I also do personal ministry myself with Clemson students and have a missional community group that I lead as well.
Wow, wow. Okay, so campus outreach. Um, Looking up, the mission statement says glorifying God by building laborers on campus for the world. Initially, before you accepted the job, what did this statement mean to you?
Yeah, I would say that what the statement meant to me is we want. I basically saw that Campus Outreach wanted to build up leaders and laborers on the campus, uh, not just the 4 years that they're in college, but for the rest of their lives. That these people would labor and pursue Jesus and other people for the rest of their lives. And
Mm-hmm.
so I would say that that's what attracted me to the ministry. That we want to see people reproduce their lives, but not just while they're in college, but continue that for the remainder of their lifetime here.
That's beautiful. I love the fact that you're saying like for the remainder of their lives. So it's something that it's like your job gets to then find someone that has a job forever. You have a job forever. You're finding people who will then have a job forever.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Um, how does accepting this leadership role impact your life?
Yeah, I think for me, first and foremost, I would say as a believer, um, I have to continue to be reminded that I'm a child of God first. But even with accepting this job as campus director, I'm now held to a higher standard as a teacher and as a leader of these individuals. And so, even as you're saying, for the rest of their lives, in our mission statement, in seeing laborers raised up, everyone wants to make an impact, and everyone wants to do something with a purpose. And I would say this job really has given me purpose in life.
Amen. Amen. Do you feel like a shepherd sometimes, like
Yeah,
leading the sheep?
yeah. I would say, in a sense, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with this job. There's also you never really know when you're going to see fruitfulness, right?
Mm-hmm.
God is the author of that, and so when the Spirit chooses to move, it's a really, really big gift and a huge blessing to see, and even just continue to be reminded this job really is a privilege to be a part of.
Wow. So, how many lives have you impacted, and when did you start?
So I started working with Campus Outreach in at the end of 2014. So I've been on staff here at Clemson for all 7 of those years, 7.5 years.
Wow.
Um, I would say, yeah, it's really hard to say how many lives have I impacted. The hope is that there are many, and I would say that um, a lot of times in ministry, you don't always see the fruit of your labor, and so even just continue to make, Jesus the centrality of why I do what I do. Not that it's about me. Really want to make an impact and want people to know Jesus
Mm-hmm.
and share Jesus, and so the hope is a lot, and the hope is that many would come to faith and continue to walk with Jesus for the remainder of their lives.
Awesome. Okay. I kind of figured you wouldn't be able to just put a spot on estimate of people's lives that you impacted. That would have been brilliant. Um, but on your journey, you said 7 years now. What is a roundabout estimate of people that you've met? They're engaged. They love what you have to offer. They love the whole mission. They love everything, and then they fall back.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. Um, I don't really have it, honestly, even with that, I don't have an exact number. What I would say is whenever we do meet people and they show interest and it's apparent that the Spirit is moving in their lives, I'm gonna give them time. And so that comes with selecting well, knowing who to spend your time with. Obviously, I don't have an infinite amount of time. And so I want to spend time with people who want my time and who want more of Jesus. And so I would say the biggest thing is whenever you meet someone, you share the gospel, is continual follow up to continue to establish them in their walk with Jesus and help them take the next step. And so whether that's they've never been to church or they've grew up in church every waking hour of their lives a few times a week or whatever it may be, I would say that the key there is to continue to follow up to get them connected to the body and most of all the local church. And so the hope is that these people, when they leave college and they leave the ministry of campus outreach, that they would get plugged into a local church, obviously after college, but definitely while they're in college. And so it's hard to say how many people have fallen away. I would say, as many times as we do go to campus and share the gospel, there are many people who don't stick around. Either they get too busy or they, start pursuing other priorities in their lives. And so I would say the percentage is actually pretty high with the amount of people that we meet at the beginning, and we cast the nets very broadly at the beginning of the semester, and then by the end of the semester, who's really sticking around with us, doing life every day with us.
I love the casting of nets. It's like you're a fisherman of men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah, I like that. That's deep.
Yeah,
I
even
like that.
even as we think about discipleship and we think about evangelism, we see Jesus in Matthew 4:19. He says, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." And so we want other people to become fishers of men, so that we see multi-generational discipleship happen, and we see the next generation of leaders raised up.
Okay, so we got 7 years on staff where we have countless amount of people that you've impacted that you don't even know about. We have countless amounts of people that you have impacted and then fell back and then got away from you, you know? Um, can you tell me a turnaround story, the best turnaround story?
Yeah, it's crazy to even think about how many stories God has really allowed me to be a part of. But I would say one that's been significant of this guy continuing to stick around. His name's Keyshawn. So Keyshawn, I met his freshman year playing basketball in Fike. Built a somewhat relationship with him, shared my testimony with him, shared the gospel with him, and he was just totally not interested. You could tell, very standoffish. Every time I would come in the gym, he knew why I was there and what I was doing, and so kind of just put a guard up. Didn't really want what I had to offer, which was Jesus at the time, and I would say for about a year or so, yeah, he wasn't really interested in Jesus and pursuing more of him and taking the next step. And so that next year, basically, went in there to fight to play basketball with Quan, and then David was in there, and George, who used to be on staff with us. And we saw Keyshawn, actually had a conversation with Keyshawn and DJ, ended up sharing our story, each of us with them. And for the first time in Keyshawn's life, I would say that he was really interested. He drew in, and he actually was super engaged in the conversation. And I could see kind of light bulbs going off in his head and this interest that was peaking in his mind of, man, I think I really want what you have. And I feel like y'all have joy and y'all have this freeing spirit, this peace of mind that I want, that I don't have. And this, these satisfaction, these basically things that I'm trying to find satisfaction in this world that doesn't live up, that doesn't offer what you're sharing me about what Jesus offers ultimately. And so started building a relationship, started grabbing lunch with Keyshawn, David and I. And Keyshawn started coming around. We started reading the Bible weekly. He started asking a ton of questions. Ended up a few months later surrendering his life to Jesus.
Wow.
And so even just to see a guy who wasn't interested in the gospel at all, to see what the Spirit really did in his life, even in the time that I wasn't really a part of his life and he really didn't have interest, God was really preparing his heart for that next year in him being receptive in receiving Jesus and really surrendering his life to the one who created him. And I would say that even just to see Keyshawn's life now, of him wanting to reproduce his life and wanting to share with his roommates and people who don't know Jesus, it's been an amazing experience to be a part of, to see David pursue Keyshawn and now Keyshawn pursuing the next generation. It's really been incredible.
Wow. Just seeing that mission statement just right there, and that was beautiful. Thank you. All right, last but not least, this question, before you answer, make sure it's someone you can get me in touch with. Who is someone you think I should interview whether they are a musician, an author, someone out there that you think I should shed light on, who you got?
Yeah, I would say my boy Shaq. Uh,
Shaq.
yeah, Shaq. So Shaq Brown, he's an artist, producer. Uh, yeah, really into film and production, and so yeah, I would say reach out to him.
That'd be cool.
He'd be somebody great to interview.
All right.
To
Hey,
do
Shaq. I don't know who you are, but we're gonna set this up. All right. I appreciate you, Landon Tucker. Thank you for your time. This was an amazing interview. Just hearing about everything that you have to offer, everything that you've been doing in this community. Just really want to say thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.